Welcome, everybody, back to Distantquest. My name is Brotimus. Last time, who did we have last time? I don't even remember. It was, oh, that's right, it was Dual Scar and Darkleer? God, that feels like a lifetime ago. So yeah, today we're going to be going, apparently also there's an intermission, which I wasn't aware of, and, there's no music. Hang on, hold, please. There we go. So much. But yeah, I didn't realize there was an intermission. The middle ground. Whatever it takes. Whatever it takes. Anyway, let's get to it. Start the intermission, and then we're going to be doing the Summoner, and then the Marquise. Spinneret Mindfang, which, in case you are not aware of, I am very, very excited. Alright, let's get the intermission going. There's a pup. Excuse me. After the last and sweatiest of hugs, you watch Darkleer walk into the woods in search of the disciple. That man is dead, but you wish him the best. Being dead. It does make you wonder, was he meant to do that all along? You weren't supposed to change anything, and yet Darkleer has gone out of his hive and walked out to meet the disciple. Was that something that happened originally and was never told, or something new that was introduced? You don't think you'll ever know the answer to that. Personally, you don't believe he would have on his own, but even with your well-informed and totally based friendship opinions, you can discard that option. Can't read. Still can't read. That hasn't changed. Regardless, you might have changed something, just a little bit. Ah, look! A portal appears above you, a circle the shape of time, and Aradia peeks through it, her usual smile and face all put together. You say hello to Ceiling Aradia. It's a ceiling cat joke, huh? Thanks for the hydrate, Doppel. Really a ceiling cat joke, though. Huh. It's breaking. That sends a chill down your duct-taped together spine. Aradia reaches out and holds your hands, pulling you inwards into the now familiar space void. When you enter the portal, you spin, completely reversing on your axis, like the place forgot where you were, feet landing first. The portal behind you closes the way a complicated etched door does. Is that a new thing? You don't remember that happening before. You feel under your feet a slimy, almost sinking surface, just for a second before you transition to floating in the middle of the darkness. Hello, darkness. Ooh. And then, nothing. So it seems that something has gone awry. Oh, she knows, doesn't she? It's the Darkleer thing. Of course it's the Darkleer thing. Why would it not be that? Somehow you managed to break an unbreakable stream of history. Bravo you. Good job, you. Darkleer? Pfft, no. Your new clothes. They fit with the time. Fuck. It's only the 57th time you've heard that joke, and you laugh regardless of it. Aradia seems pleased. I enjoy an audience I can relate with. Aradia pauses like she's waiting for something, expecting something. Not from you, but nothing happens. My eye. You rush to ask, what is breaking then? Nothing, maybe. A little experiment of mine when I rattled the bars of your good old bald friend. Nothing is breaking more than the usual, just in different ways. Like an entire new pattern. Right. Him. You haven't heard from the cue ball while story exploring. She is right, but why would he be interested in spying on this? Aradia said so herself, it's just a story. A story we are muddling with, but yes. Hold on a second. Aradia said, it is a story, but you talked to them, affected them in one way or another. Any other troll you might have seen or killed, you might have not changed anything in the big narrative leagues, but you have changed things in small scale. Like those clothes. Okay, that is true. These are the sign this is closed. You kind of did kill a troll back there. You sure know how to mount a riot. I enjoyed watching what I could when I was able. Even the Doom Splinters you created are refreshing old souls in unexpected ways. It's kind of nice to hear that from her, you think. Maybe. Not entirely sure about that. I kind of would have wanted to talk with the man who said the fuck word myself. Too bad, so sad I got someone else instead. Someone else? The fuck word. Hold on. She says the fuck word. It just hit me. She doesn't say the F word, she says the fuck word. Say, I hope you're ready for your next trip because it's a doozy. Aradia opens a portal. You feel the tingle of wanting to know more, meet more of your friends as ancestors, but now you also look at Aradia suspiciously. You know she plays at Secret Keeper, but this is too obvious. You're changing a lot. And for Aradia's standards, is that a good or a bad thing? I like where you're going. Now go make some friends. Aradia pushes you into the portal and you fall as before. Halfway down, you realize something. There are no stars in the darkness back there. Content warning: discussions of depersonalization, mentions of past violence and implication of future violence in a militia setting. You heard it here, folks. You find yourself, once again, displaced from anywhere you know or have anything with familiarity with. Which is usually your own fault because you have this tendency to be suddenly and inexplicably stricken by wanderlust, captured by the need to go and follow wherever your heart takes you in your pursuit of companionship, left over from your lovely time of having your entire persona scrapped and rebuilt by someone with a particular purpose in mind. Which you have accepted as being something you get to live with now. You are totally fine with the whole thing. You are. But this time it's because of the troll girl that was both at once dead and something greater than that had dropped you here after some... Those are just words strung together in a random pattern. Because of the troll girl that was both at once dead and not, and something greater than that had dropped you here after some less than completely innocent and totally not suspicious in any way at all, catching up on, well, neither of your ends really, but that was also totally fine. That was a really cool transition, the slow fade. Changes. You don't know if you like the sound of that. You also don't know if you don't like the sound of that. Changing things around, even if only little bits and pieces that splinter off and fade away into nothingness in the grand scheme of things because somebody with control issues didn't like them. It was new. It was exciting. It was terrifying. She'd said this was a story, and you'd known that, but before it had been one that was set in blood-stained ideology-spewing stone and nothing you could really touch. Now it's something you have a hand in, even if you don't know what kind or even what you're doing at any given point. You're stumbling through on trial and error and trying your best to be something. You're not really something, you're not really anything, you're just trying. That's all you can ask. That's all you can ask. Though you think you should try a little harder at resisting that wanderlust urge because there isn't a whole lot of safety out here in Alternia. Hadn't been before you'd been taken on a joyride through the timeline, not entirely with your consent, and there certainly wasn't much here in the wilds of Alternians yesteryear. There are barely even roads around here. Oh, how you long for the familiar comforts of civilization and ecosystems having been destroyed for the sake of ease and capitalism's decree it was for the betterment of society, when everything wasn't always trying to... Okay, so everything might have been trying to kill you anyway, but it just hadn't seemed so apparent because of the whole taming of the wilds thing. So you're still going to count it amongst your numerous points of why the past isn't the most ideal place to be. Or perhaps it's more than you've wandered away from the civilizations of distant Alternian past and out into the wilderness without meaning to. You're stupid enough that that's always an option, if you're going to be perfectly honest. Boy, don't appreciate getting called out like this game. Your particular form of wanderlust has never really directed you somewhere you weren't supposed to be, so you've never really had any reason to doubt or worry over simply letting your feet take you wherever it may lead. Probably they may lead. Except all those times when it led you straight into the attention of a number of terrifying and deadly teenage and now adult trolls that were more than happy to use you and your perfect calves as toothpicks before tossing you to the side of the road like whatever counted as roadkill on this planet. My sweet, sweet gams. Probably other trolls if you're going to be honest. Anyway, you hadn't understood a lot of what Aradia said back there, but you understood enough to know to continue on as you have been. There had been a trend to the trolls you had met, where you were sure there were plenty more to come. Was there a trend? I don't remember there being a trend. I might be stupid, though. Oh, there's the tongue and rump. I forgot to turn that off. Hold. Nightbot. Nightbot. Let's turn that off. There we go. We don't need that till tomorrow. Sorry about that. Alright. Time to just relax and enjoy the moonlit scenery. Alternia really is a pretty planet when it and its inhabitants aren't trying to kill you and those you know and or care about. Even more so when you get outside of the cityscapes and it's just trees and fields and nowhere near any god-awful deserts. Well, this looks desert-like, or desert-adjacent at the very least. Really, if you never see another desert, it will be much too soon. There's far too much sand, there are They are far too open and empty, and you're convinced that there are monsters underneath all of that. There's too much sand. 7.2 out of 10. Too much sand. You're not uncultured. You know all about the horror of monsters hiding beneath the shifting earth, and the most dangerous game of the floor is lava to have ever existed. You know. Sorry, I didn't read that correctly. While others study the blade, or the various methods involved in orchestrating a peaceful rebellion of teaching kindness and equality, or even the much more desired law books, because oh boy, do those fabled lawyer payouts sound mighty fine when you don't take into account the massive amount of debt needed to get there. You spent your time practicing the much more applicable skill of moving around an area without touching the floor because you knew. You knew your day was approaching. You weren't very good at it, but you were ready. Oh boy, I realize it's a habit of fucking calling me out. And you knew that, oh hey, some tents. There's certainly a change of pace. That's certainly a change of pace. Look, tents! And thus you return to the embrace of society, of its many ways of easing existence. Shelter and cooked food that probably isn't actually supposed to be eaten by someone like you, but it's rude to turn it down, so you try it anyway. And more importantly, the next character in the story. Yep, that's what we're here for. Actually, you don't think any potential advance, even if it can in the form of friendship, is worth whatever the hell you just put in your mouth. Oh god, it's awful. It's disgusting. You think it might be trying to wiggle out of your hands. No, thank you. Not trying that again. Nope. You get away from the odd food being offered to you and the well-meaning jeering from the trolls that just witnessed your attempt to eat something that you definitely shouldn't have. At least you're going to say they're well-meaning thanks to all the social understanding you've earned through fumbling your way to numerous friendships. If anyone knew well-meaning jeering, you would like to think it was you. You make your way around looking for the particular troll that was the focal point of this part of the story. From other lowbloods around, you safely cross off quite a number of potentials from your list and let the remaining context clues fall into place. Who else would have a large number of lowbloods all united under a common cause, just hanging around and having a good time? That you haven't met yet, that is. An important piece of criteria to put in there, otherwise you'd end up with people you've already met and tucked safely away in the part of your heart labeled doomed friendships in big block letters, and you're pretty sure you haven't reached that part of the story yet. You didn't know a lot about the summoner guy. I love that there is the summoner there. For apparently being a big part in all of the adult trolls being kicked off of Alternia into the endless expanse of space, there wasn't a whole lot on him that had survived for the present-day trolls to tell you about. Something about rebelling against his betters, stealing a dragon in a raging inferno of righteous vengeance and death, an army doomed to failure and devastation, you know, normal fairy tale things, but nothing actually on him himself. Most of what you knew about the summoner from the story was the after effects, I feel like that should probably be 2 words, I don't know actually, of what he'd accomplished, nothing about the troll himself. He must have been something, though, to gather so many trolls together to fight a losing fight with only the slimmest hope of better days ahead. Well, there's only one way to find out. Time to find the summoner amongst this ragtag collection of trolls. I at one point, then, like, leading up to this, I was like, what if I message Dante Bosco? Do you think he'd read this with me? I never did it because I'm a coward, but I was like, you think he would? Do you think he would? I don't know. But the thing is, I'm not afraid of him saying no. I'm afraid of him saying yes. And then I have to fucking deal with the anxiety of interacting with Dante Bosco. Like he'd ever say yes, though. Fuck. It turns out to be much easier than you originally thought it was going to be. You just have to find the group of trolls gathered around in a crowd-like manner, and there he is. What kind of voice does the summoner have? The music's freaking rad, though. Oh yeah, I'm ready to go fucking fight. All right, what kind of voice does the summoner have? Well, he's Tavros' ancestor, right? But he's cooler. He's more confident. At least, you know, the stories that have him. Just go something like this. They think that because they're cooler than us, that they're higher than us. That means they can tell us what we can and can't accept in our lives. But they're wrong. The only ones that should get to decide what we can do with our lives, what our own worth is, should be us. No one else. The summoner in the flesh, just not the close-up flesh. The flesh at a distance that's making a speech that feels both familiar and not all at once. That's why we need to stand together. We can't just step back and allow the high bloods to continue as they have been. Not anymore. We let them walk over us long enough. Looks like you've come at just the right time. Now you get to listen firsthand to something that would make its way into the history books. If history books weren't heavily biased towards one side, that is. music. Oh, it's so good. Still, something none of your other friends get to experience. Something just for you to keep in your little voyeur-to-life heart.
We need to work together to put a stop to them once and for all. We can't let them force another one of us into a life of servitude and death. Not for their wants. Not while we still have the ability to stand up to them and say otherwise.
There's a pause in the troll's momentum, which you're sure is to allow the gathered trolls to murmur agreements amongst themselves, to digest what they'd already heard and avoid overloading them with information. A good choice in your most humble of failing at every public speaking event you've ever attended opinions.
I know a lot of you have already lost quad mates and friends due to the High Blood's cruelty, and I know a lot of you are scared to lose more, but that's why we need to strike them whenever we can, when they're least expecting us to. We need to show them that we won't bend, that we're not going to falter or crumble just because they decided they were better than us, that they were worth more than us from the moment we were hatched. We need to show them that we're more than they ever thought we could be. There's a High Blood convoy we've got eyes on. We strike in 2 days' time. They'll have supplies and slaves with them. To any willing to risk everything for the chance to help another one of us, we leave at nightfall tomorrow. It's time to be more than they ever allowed us to be.
You feel that that's the end of the speech, a feeling helped by the fact that trolls are hollering and yelling around you as the summoner drops down into the crowd to talk to some of those that had gathered to listen to him. Others, meanwhile, start to disperse and go their separate ways, talking amongst themselves in volumes that you know better than to listen in on. Mostly because you don't want to have your face caved in by trolls you don't know, but who would be very justified in doing so because listening on others' conversations is so rude and you like to pretend you're better than that. Sometimes. Not that often, actually. Usually. But now you're left with little more to do than just going up to him, talking to the summoner himself. The troll, the young, dead but actually it's kind of really weird and confusing girl storybook / heavily altered history book. The troll you definitely aren't putting off approaching because, oh boy, see everything the storybook said he was. As little as that meant him without the grossly exaggerated awful bits that came from him being a rebel and a loser in the end of the history books being written and or approved by the very high bloods he was standing up against. At least from a distance he didn't seem any more, well, more than any of the other low bloods hanging around the camp, if that made sense. Nothing about him was really grand or impressive other than those horns and wings, which were only really impressive due to their respective size and how did he survive with those factor. Who knew though? That could change as you got closer. If you got closer. You actually haven't started moving yet. You should probably start doing that right about now if you want to get anywhere. Or, and just hear yourself out for a second, you could not. You mean, do you really need to go bother such an important and busy guy right after he's just finished trying to unite a bunch of trolls under a common goal? Do you? Do you really? The guy's probably tired. He's probably exhausted. Giving a speech is exhausting. It's not that you're intimidated by the figure you're still too far away to make out any of the details of, it's just... he's busy talking to the trolls that want his attention. Never mind that the distinctive pair of horns and wings has since broken away from the crowd of trolls and was now on his own in the best approachable position you could have ever imagined him in. It's just that he's a really intimidating figure, and you think you'd be better off just trying again another day when you don't have to talk to him after that kind of display, just maybe. Alright, what do we got? We got pull yourself together and go... Whoa. I didn't realize I could save screenshots. Oh. How about that? Pull yourself together and go talk to the winged bugman, or let's just try this again on a different day. Let's just try it on a different day. How about that? Where are we at? I realize I need to start marking things so I know when to edit them. Oh. 18, like 18:45. Let's try this on a different day, huh? That sounds like the best idea you've had in a whole entire week. Time to wash your hands of this whole situation and try again at a different point in the timeline. One that's not as immediately intimidating as this one, if one exists on the timeline, that is. You'll find one, you're sure you will. After all, you have the power of plot conveniences and contrivances on your side. The narrative, capital N, is sure to lead you to where you need to be in order to properly befriend the summoner with his giant pair of horns and a wicked sharp grin. You're not putting it off to never pick up this particular friendship thread again. That's preposterous. You'd never let your own fear get in the way of establishing a new and flourishing friendship. That good old intimidation tactic. Oh, that's really cool. I really like that art. Ooh, I like it. Alright, hell yeah. Excuse me. We got the quick bad ending. Oh wait, hang on. What time is that? That's like 1930s what that's roundabouts. All right, let's zip on by. So let's pull yourself together and go talk to the winged bug man. This is 2005. Yeah, you've got this. You're not completely petrified of the idea of approaching this one singular troll. Big wings and horns don't mean anything after all the friends you've already made in your journey through the timeline. The horns do have you a little bit wary, though. You can't stop that. They're very intimidating, and you are properly quelled by the sight of them. You would really prefer if they continued to be turned away from your general direction. Actually, that's a little silly now that you think about it. What, you're just going to throw conversation at this guy without him facing you full on at all? That doesn't make for a good communication at all. You should at least be facing the direction of the people you're talking to. You're about 70% sure that's a thing that should happen. 75% even. Just, you know what, even tack that 5% on there. It's the little things that matter, you know, the little percentage points. And you're still putting off going up and talking to him. That certainly is a thing you're going to stop doing right now. Instead, you're going to go up to him and say, hello. You are, because you have the power of recent friendship with an intimidating figure that you were totally counting as friendship no matter what he said, and narrative constructs on your side. The draw to continue your forward momentum through this story is more powerful than the summoner's intimidating presence. Kinda. And you force yourself forward towards the target of your friend-making expertise. Cool, hard cut. That was really bizarre, actually. That was weird. You feel your limbs trembling like a newborn lamb, threatening to send you to the ground in an incredibly embarrassing display of nerves, misplaced limbs, and wanting to be friends with the cool guy. Your heart, or whatever similar thing you have, has sunk deep into the hollow of your chest, frozen and stuttering as you draw closer to the summoner. The guy practically radiating from the sheer amount of intimidation he gives off, an amount you could never hope to match or even be anything similar to. You stand before him, the adult troll towering over you, his wings and horns only adding to the size of him in comparison to yourself, and you manage to squeak out a hello. Oh, hi. Oh, look at that. Look at that smile.
Were you here to ask me about something? Something about the speech? Hopefully everything made sense. I may have spent a bit of time practicing it.
It's so sweet, isn't it? This is neither the response you were expecting nor the one you were preparing for. You really don't know how to respond to any of this right now. You were building yourself up to deal with a super terrifying, cool rebellion leader guy, not some troll with a dorky smile and who almost smacked his own horns with his hand trying to reach the back of his own neck. Your expectations were dashed, crushed, and shattered in a moment with nothing more than a smile. What a complete heel turn. But, let it never be said that you can't adapt to unexpected changes, that the key to being able to do anything in life is learning to roll with what comes at you and slot yourself seamlessly into different scenarios. Case in point? Yes, you definitely heard the entirety of the speech and you think he did a great job of swaying the crowd to his side through his wording and allowance for emotional weight to settle. A very good speech to be sure.
You, really think so? Even though I lost my lines a little at the end there?
Oh no, you've just made the smile bigger and far more wicked confident than it had been previously.
What have you done?
MSPA Reader sitting over here like, oh no, he's hot. Uh-oh. You have played yourself. You nod because of course you think so, and because your words momentarily abandoned you, but that's fine. They'll be back soon.
I'm glad to hear that. I, actually spent a lot of time practicing it, last day's cycle, just to make sure I didn't mess up on stage. They probably wouldn't have listened to me if I started through the whole thing.
You get the feeling that he's talking from a little bit of experience there, though it would be terribly rude to directly ask him about experiences, so you won't ask him directly. That's not a good way to start a friendship. Believe you, you've tried. Besides, you have other ways of learning about others, and there's always time to delve deep into the interpersonal trauma later. That's what we're here for, diving into interpersonal trauma with trolls. That's fucking why we're here. So you nod like you know exactly what he's talking about. Fuck, excuse me. I still have a cough. It's like the moment you mess up your words, even a little bit, everyone's looking down on you and doubting what you're saying no matter how right you were. Fuck, this game is really just out to get me today. Damn, fuck me. The summoner seems confused by your attempt at faux camaraderie, so maybe that wasn't the best step forward to take after all. You're about to wave off the statement when the summoner speaks up and stops your attempt at saving this conversation before you can even begin.
I mean, I can't really blame them.
Yeah, that makes sense. He doesn't seem very confident there. Oh fuck. Oh fuck. What's the play here? What's the play here? Okay, so hang on. Let's logic this out, shall we? All right. So, yeah, that makes sense. I don't know what that plays. I don't know where that goes. I don't know what goes into that. He doesn't seem very confident there. Seems like a jab at him. But maybe he'd be like, yeah, that's something I'm working on, you know? I'm trying to be more confident. I don't even know what yeah that makes sense has relation to this. Hang on. I can't really blame. Daddy, whatever they were. Fuck it. We're going with a fuck it tactic. Yeah, that makes sense. What is this? Where are we? We're at 25. Yeah, that makes sense. You know what? You can definitely see where he's coming from with that. You nod in a very sage-like manner, fuck. Agreeing with him completely. He's so right. From your experience, it's pretty common for trolls to turn on others at the slightest sign of weakness or hesitance. You can only imagine how much worse it could be if it was someone who was supposed to help keep them safe and protect them from the Highbloods they'd escaped from. There, exactly. Fuck. Shit. Ass. Titty.
That's what I mean. Well, it usually sounds better when somebody else says it, though. I'm not really the best at things like that. Though you might have figured that out by now.
No, you get the feeling that he really isn't, but you know what? You wanna know what? That's fine. You definitely think it was a good speech at the end of it all. Very morale-raising and informative. You're sure that he's going to get a lot of trolls coming to help him. Potentially murder a number of Highbloods in order to deal them an inconveniencing blow and hopefully rescue some more Lowbloods from the lives they toiled within. A want that feels familiar to you, if gone about in a completely opposite way.
That's really relieving to hear. Just between the two of us, I might have gone off script a little just at the end after I lost my place.
Well, whatever he'd done to go off script didn't show at all in any way, any kind of negative or stuttering and pausing ways while he'd been up there. Great! Well, now you just feel silly for letting yourself get so worked up and scared to actually approach and talk to the summoner. Where's the terrifying troll that led a whole rebellion to their deaths at the hand of the merciless Highbloods? Where's the troll that stood up against the Grand Highblood and had not walked but flown out with not only his own life but dragon as well? That guy's certainly not the troll you're talking to now, with his bashful smile and tendency to forget just how large and unwieldy his horns actually are. The troll you're talking to now is just a nerd. Emoji for emphasis. I always realize I'm still big. Hang on, there we go. I'm small now. And a lot easier to make friends with than you were thinking he'd be. You're barely even worried about dying if you make a single ginormous fuck up with him. You barely know what that feels like, but oh boy, could you get used to it. Fucking nerd. Such a non-terrifying and generally unthreatening guy must have a whole number of friends to call his own.
Not really.
The summoner's whole face falls, and you feel like the worst individual to ever exist. Look what you did with your callous comedy. You hadn't even been aware you were saying. Good on you. Good fucking job, you asshole. But now that you're here, you might as well dig yourself deeper into this hole and ask him what exactly he means by that. That's a fallacy of that's a sunk cost fallacy. Fucking abort, my guy.
Well, it's just that I think a lot of them want to just want to say they're friends with the summoner, which isn't awful. It's just I don't think they really like that I'm not the summoner all the time. I sound a bit paranoid, don't I? I don't think they like me as much as they like the idea of me. If that makes sense.
Not really. Nah. Nah. Wait, I'm fucking timestamp. That's 28 to fucking 50. There we go. You think he's just assuming the worst out of whoever he's been having troubles with. There's no way someone would ever befriend him just because they like the idea of befriending the summoner without much care to the troll beneath the title. That's just silly. That's just crazy talk. Never mind that that's what you're kind of doing right now. Just a little bit. You know. Zapping around time to add these historical figures of troll history to your friend card without much reason other than they're the ancestral trolls you already know and some you haven't met yet, and a dead but not troll girl thinks it sounded like a fun idea, but now there's something happening in the background you aren't even completely aware of, and... Wait. Is this a pot calling the kettle black kind of situation? If so, which do you count as? Pot, kettle, pot, kettle, pot, kettle. Kettle! You definitely have to align yourself with kettles, the elegant shape to them, the easy to maneuver and handle. Hang on, wait, that was another choice there. Piss. 29-30, close enough. The elegant shape to them, the easy to maneuver handle, there's just no competition. Pots pale in comparison to the might and clear superiority of kettles. Sonnets and symphonies could be created to bring focus and attention to each individual minute detail of kettles, and that make them so much better than the competitor, the simple pot. Those that claim otherwise have clearly never handled a proper kettle, steeping tea leaves to their fullest extent and then being able to easily move them around with the most convenient, easy-to-use handle. More is a pity for them, but you know far better. The semantics of your wandering thoughts are put on hold as you realize that the summoner's face is completely fallen again, losing all emotion and seeming to almost belong to a completely different troll than the one you'd just been talking to. There's a space there. More closed off and distant from you.
Well, did you have any questions about the upcoming assault? That's what you wanted to talk about, right?
Well, what you actually wanted was friendship, but yeah, sure, you definitely have questions about the thing that's going to happen, whether you try to put a stop to it or not, because you're currently in a time period that has already come and gone. It's events set in stone and unable to be shifted despite the fact that you really, really want to change them in some way. Also, it's a chance to learn a bit more about the inner workings of the Summoner's Rebellion, and not just what little has passed in the present time's generation of trolls. Why not take the opportunity while you can? So there are going to be Highbloods close to the camp in 2 days. Does it happen a lot?
Oh, they're not passing anywhere near us. If they were, then we'd be packing up and relocating. Everyone here's been... Not all of them want to fight anymore, and they shouldn't have to. If they were in danger, then we'd be moving.
You weren't really expecting to hear that, though you suppose it makes quite a bit of sense considering that what the Summoner had said earlier. A lot of the trolls here must have been through a lot in their lives before they came to be here. The Summoner himself had outright said so as he closed off his speech to the trolls in the camp. Of course they wouldn't want anything to do with Highbloods anymore. It would have been an awful thing to just expect them to deal with when there was an option to just get them to pick up and move along to a safer, more secure location where the danger of the Highbloods presented to them wasn't something they actually needed to worry about quite yet. Looking after the large majority of the trolls here instead of worrying about whatever damage they might have been able to do to the Highbloods, definitely something that reminded you of someone you already come to know for a brief moment in this walk with ghosts you've gotten yourself on. The fact that you're desperate enough to make friends with long-dead historical figures hits you square in the hollow aching in your chest once again. You linger on it, on what it means that the yearning that usually directs you was so gung-ho about the current detour you've taken. And then you go back to ignoring that little fact of your current state of existence, because it's depressing, and who wants to focus on something you've already come to terms with dealing with on the rest of however long your existence is, when there's a potential friend you're ruining everything with right in front of you.
Yeah, not everyone here knows how to fight either, so it doesn't make sense to try and make them, and that's before those that can't. It's all volunteer-based, that is, who stays and who goes. We've all had everything decided for us for so long that I don't want to do that anymore. We all deserve to choose what we want to do with ourselves, no matter what anyone else has ever said. We're all worth more than that. We're worth getting to have a choice.
It's a solemn declaration, the kind that feels genuine and true in every utterance of each individual syllable, even though it still feels like there's a distance between you and the Summoner, making you feel more that he's talking to you like you're someone best kept separate from what little counts as his personal life. That isn't what you wanted at all, though, so it's time to get back towards that being spoken to like a not stranger, maybe friend thing that had been happening earlier. And you know exactly the line of questioning that will get you there. You guess he was one of the ones who knew how to fight then, after the whole enslaved to high blood whims for the vast majority of his life thing.
Yeah.
If anything, he's only looking more and more uncomfortable with the subjects you're asking him about. This is some pretty awful progress if you say so yourself. It's not going well, is it? And you do. You do say so yourself. You know what? I do. I'm fucking this up.
Though it turns out that fighting Highbloods is a lot different than dealing with horn beasts. There's just a bit more thought to them at the start. Though I guess they're similar towards the end of... well, we all are if you really think about it.
The Summoner stops talking, appearing far more troubled than you've seen him so far, and you don't know what to do with yourself while you watch him. You don't think there's anything you can or should do right now. You don't know what exactly tied up his thoughts or how he's working through them. Of course you don't. You're not a mind reader, and if you were, you're not sure how you would really want to. You don't think he's very used to having his thoughts be entirely his own. He's not used to being free to think and work through things at his own pace without the fear that anyone could just come along and pluck them out of his skull, take them and shape them into something entirely different. You really don't want to take that away from him, even if just some theoreticals in your own head. So you make yourself wait until he finishes whatever train of thought he's currently on. He'll be finished soon enough, and then he'll decide what he wants to tell you. No pushing or hurrying on your part.
Yeah, well, I know a thing or two about dealing with highbloods, more than a lot of the trolls here at least.
Of course he does. Because of the whole stealing a giant fire-breathing dragon to escape thing. Fuck. That hasn't happened yet. It's a single fuck. That was the wrong thing to say right there. You're really flexing that saying things without really thinking muscle, aren't you? Can you be any more obvious about knowing things you aren't supposed to? Can you? Why not just point out that you know it's inexaggerated by his detail, that everything the summoner is and stands for is going to be reduced to less than nothing after the Highbloods eventually crush him and his rebellion into dust, like ghosts. They're all ghosts. It's a wicked, twisted thing that has you talking to trolls that already walked the planet, already shaped it into the horror that had Karkat hiding, terror-stricken beneath the floorboards, that had Tavros doomed to an inevitable death after what happened to him, that had Aradia dead at the hands of another troll her age because she'd been trying to avenge a friend. And here you were, trying to talk to them, trying to befriend them, knowing their places in the story and what they would pave the way towards. Back in the future, neither the Summoner nor the Silence had managed to do anything to help in any of the ways they'd wanted to. If anything, it made things worse for those who'd come after. And here you were, ruthlessly inserting yourself in the narrative set in stone just because you could. Just because you had the ability to do so. Oh man, he didn't stop to think. What's the fucking line from Jurassic Park? I can't think of it now. Your scientists didn't stop to think whether they, your scientists only thought if they could, not if they should. I can't remember. It's been too long. Isn't he from Jurassic Park? I don't remember. Fuck it, we're moving on. Because all that could stop you was a temporary at best and not worth mentioning at worst. There was little reason for you to be here other than to look in on what these society-changing but overlooked trolls were like, at one point or another, separated from but fully immersed in what had made them remembered to begin with. The Summoner's face is blank and seems to be looking through you as he starts to speak, words empty, dull, and as rehearsed as the speech before had been, but differing in how utterly emotionless the words were.
Yeah, that time I stole Pyro's bite from the clutches of the Grand Highblood himself and raised half of his congregation's tents to the ground before freeing a number of trolls from certain death and leading them into freedom from the air with the dragon at our backs to stop any Highbloods following us. Who would have guessed that when I stood in front of that Grand Highblood, demanding him not to send my troops to meaningless deaths, this would be where I ended up? A mutant living alive and free without needing to bind and hide my wings from anyone that could pluck them out of my back just to prove how little abominations are tolerated by the Empire. Leading assaults against the Highbloods whenever possible so that they see that we're not as insignificant as they think we are.
The rehearsed words rung as half-truths, events glossed up to sound good and inspire awe in any that heard them, but without the Summoner attempting to play into the part that had obviously been built up for him to play. It was all so hollow, empty, meaningless. Neither of you believe any word of it without him making you do so. They're just hollow. You don't think there's a way to get back from this, back from the failed act of who the troll in front of you believes everyone around him wants to be, more than who he actually is. A belief you've dismissed and downplayed, realizing too late to backtrack and save yourself from what you've gotten yourself into. You find yourself standing in front of the Summoner. Not a troll given the name for something he'd done, but a glossed-up version of him, warranted to being something for other trolls first, whoever he was second. And it's a hollow facsimile of an actual troll. The Hollow Figurehead. Wow! Radical. What a bad route that is. All right, let's keep it going, huh? This coffee tastes awful, but I'm gonna drink it. Okay, so that seemed like the way to get to the long good ending. Let's try a different one. He didn't seem very confident there. Where are we? What are we doing? Oh, fuck. What was that other one? That's, we're going to say like 38 to 30 for that ending, and this is 39-10. He didn't seem very confident there. That sounded more like a question than a statement. You would know. You're really good at doing the exact same thing. Well? Oh no, he caught you catching him. His words are slower, more thought put behind them, and quite a few more pauses as he seemed to order the thoughts and words in his head so they'd make sense when he told them to you.
If I don't sound like I know what's going on, then why would any of them stay here? They could all just leave and then they'd be safer for it. There's no need to stay and risk getting back where they started, or worse.
You stay quiet because you're still recovering from your little blunder, and the summoner shrugs one of his shoulders before his hand returns to the skin of his neck, a small, self-conscious smile on his face.
That's just what I think after what I've been through. It's always different for everyone. That's what the practice, what practicing is for, right? Making sure it all comes across how I want it to instead of not. I'm happy with it at least.
It's a very understandable viewpoint to have, with the number of trolls in this encampment, all of them with different opinions, attitudes, and thoughts. Of course, trying to appear like a sure and confident leader was something the summoner would strive to achieve. You definitely think it was a good speech at the end of it all, very morale-raising and informative. You're sure that's going to give a launcher to help him, probably. Oh, this is the same. Oh, that's the same. Okay, cool. All right. Oh fuck, what's this one? If it makes sense. Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does. I think, yeah, okay, that's the other one, right? I don't remember what I did anymore. I don't remember. That's 40/40 is what that one is. Whoops, got it.
He's making so much sense right now.
Of course, there's a number of trolls trying to get on the summoner's good side in whatever way they could, or just treating him differently in general because he's the summoner. You were doing the exact same thing earlier when you almost felt that the fear you'd built up from the reputation of him making you put off talking to him. Which seems really silly now that you've spoken to him for more than a second and realized just how much you'd built up the fearsome facade of the summoner in your head. Really, you'd nearly been scared off by a set of teeth in a well-rehearsed speech. More fool of you. More fool you. Wait, what? More fool you. You know what? I'm going with it. That'd be a good RPG villain name. More fool you. At least you know better now.
I'm really glad to hear you agree with me. I can't tell you how many times I've had others tell me I'm being stupid about it. It's nice not to be shrugged off for once.
Why would anyone just dismiss his worries like that? That doesn't sound like something anyone that wanted to value his thoughts, opinions, and well-being would do. Not a very good friendship-maintaining quality right there. Or not right there, don't you know? Unlike you, who has great friendship-maintaining qualities, like listening to your friends' worries and concerns without judging or dismissing them out of hand. Usually. For the most part. Yeah, sure, you're going to stop digging this your grave. Let's try that again, shall we? You're going to stop digging your own grave now.
Don't worry. I'm used to it, though. Usually I'm the one doing the digging.
The mutual feelings of, oh, don't worry, my dear potential friend, I haven't put in your shoes, metaphorical shoes, is because his foot is probably a lot bigger than yours, and trying to walk in them would more than likely end up with you on the ground before I know exactly what you're talking about. They will work to bring you both closer so that you can become great, amazing friends. You're certain of this due to your amazing, astounding, flawless record of friend-making, which has never failed you a single time in your existence.
Did I do it?
Did I do the right order? Is this a bad one? Is this a bad one? Please tell me it's a bad one. Ever.
Well, at least someone knows what they're doing.
Wait, someone?
Well, yeah. You know what you're doing, right?
Oh. The answer is no. You're going to go with yes on that. Just like, yes, I do know what I'm doing. But does that mean he doesn't know what he's doing, that is?
Well, no.
You are floored. Your entire frame of reference has just been stripped away by a bashful expression and an embarrassed admission for the second time. You don't know how to react to this. How are you supposed to react to the summoner just admitting he has no idea what he's doing with the whole rebellion thing? That he's just playing things by ear and hoping for the best? How are you ever going to come back from all of this?
Well, it's not like I meant to start any of this. It just kind of started and then got ahead of me before I knew what was happening.
How does something like this even happen? How did he manage to trick everyone here into following him at all?
I didn't trick anyone. I never said I knew what I was, or what was going on, or what would happen if to any of us. So I just.
He goes quiet, outraged, as he turned his gaze to the ground, focusing away from everything built around you, both to focus on something more firm, more solid, and grounded in certainty.
I couldn't just let it happen again.
You decide to gently prod him on after a few beats of silence. You can feel the air become heavy with the promise of a truthful, genuine backstory about to be delivered to your ears. Free of outside flanderization, good word, and false information, the truth behind the summoner's story, the beginning to the legacy that shaped Alternia society as a whole. You wait, eager to have the knowledge of what actually happened given to you.
I mean, I wasn't expecting to make it out of there. Not really. I'm not even really sure what actually happened, to be honest. It was all really fast, just one thing after another. I wasn't even really expecting to get out alive, if I'm being honest. I never really stood up for anyone else like that. Or for me, either. I thought the clowns were going to call me for speaking out of place, questioning the grand high asshole like that. I was just angry. That's probably that's the best way to say it. I was just a bit more angry than scared for once, and I did something really stupid. And then I did a lot more stupid stuff that must have surprised him. I bet he'd never had a mutant tell him he was being a moron for no reason to his face. He really was, though. Can you imagine thinking there's no better option to take, even though a Franful were just given to you?
No, you can't. He's right. Forcing yourself to do something one terribly difficult way when there were another, less difficult options doesn't sound like something you'd ever want to do.
Especially with it being mine and the other Cavalry Reapers' lives on the line, you know?
Yeah, no, you would really like to avoid choosing a dangerous option over a safer one when you might be sending numerous others to their deaths or maiming. No, thank you. That kind of guilt can stay far, far away from you where it deserves to be.
Yeah, exactly. And I couldn't tell him any different because of the
stuttering and pausing thing.
I was gonna say the whole him thinking that I was worth less than the trash under his feet thing, but that works too. Then it just all happened. I said something. There was a lot of yelling. The clowns reacted, and there was more yelling. Someone must have grabbed me because the next thing I know, my wings are out, and then there's more yelling. And apparently, I was panicking so much that I just grabbed onto the old neophyte's luces. And then everything was on fire, so there was a lot of angry clowns freaking out over that. And the next thing I know, I'm being scolded by a giant dragon because I tried to fly too far without really knowing what I was doing.
Oh, wow.
Well, it's not like I ever had the chance to practice flying before. I had to keep them wrapped up so nobody knew about them, or they probably would have turned them out of my back, which is something I want to experience, or which isn't something I want to experience.
You can see why he wouldn't. Those things look like they're very attached to him. It's just that now that you have now you have to process the idea of the summoner's great first act of rebellion against the Highbloods being nothing more than a series of panic-filled split-second decisions, ending with him trying to escape like a baby bird attempting to fly out of the nest for the first time before a dragon that took pity on his struggling efforts and plucked him out of the sky. There is literally nothing left of a cool image for this guy in your mind now. It's been shattered beyond repair at this point, and there will be no fixing it. The summoner is now officially uncool. Which is great for you, because cool friends are so exhausting. Man, having friends cooler than you, it's a problem. Uncool trademark. I love that. Trying to keep up with all their interesting exploits and thrilling life adventures when you know you could never meet or even come close to doing similar, tiring beyond belief. Uncool friends are so much easier to keep up with. Fucking preach, buddy. You decide to share the likening you've made of the summoner's first attempt of flight to that of a bird's, just to point out the sheer absurdity of the notion.
You're right. It sounds so stupid when you put it that way.
See, it's not everyone that can laugh at their past actions in such a lighthearted manner. You can almost pretend you two weren't in a camp filled with trolls fighting back against a system that deemed them inherently lesser just for the colors of their blood. Is this the motherfucking good ending? Son of a bitch! Damn it! Speaking of which, what does the summoner do in his free time? Now that you know he has an existence outside of being the summoner, you wonder what it is he does outside of pretending he knows what he's doing and trying to help the trolls here.
You don't have to keep calling me that.
Keep calling him what?
You don't have to call me the summoner. It's really silly, too, is all.
Oh, are you getting an actual name privileges? Is that what's happening right now? Have you advanced so far in the social echelon ladder that you get to know the actual name behind the rebellion?
I don't know. There were more options. I don't know.
You were so pumped you can practically feel yourself trembling where you stand.
No need to get so excited about it. It's just just a name.
Perhaps, yes, but it's the principle of the thing and what it represents in the story that you're excited about. Also the chance to rub it in Aradia's face that you know something else about her favorite story that she probably doesn't, but that's a much smaller side victory. Victory adjacent, if you will. What you're really interested in is the sharing of personal info to better connect with him. Break through that final barrier blocking you from truly knowing the troll behind the awful myths and legends. Also, the summoner was getting a bit tired to continue putting into every other sentence to continue to another additional bonus there. Or so another additional bonus there.
Right. Well, it's Rufio. Rufio Nitrum. Nice to officially meet you.
Him as well. How are you now, Rufio? You've achieved first name basis. You can practically hear the fanfare in your head. You're sure that you've just about secured your friendship with him. You're in the clear and so close to your ultimate goal of obtaining another long-dead friend in your collectathon. Got it, through time. Now back to your question. What does Rufio do with his spare time when he's not being the summoner?
Well, that's actually a good question. I've got one or two, a lot of things to say that I enjoy doing outside of the whole leading a rebellion thing. I just have to think on where to start.
Just go with whatever makes him happiest to start off with. You want to know what brings him the biggest joy in life so that you can see exactly what he's most likely to spend all of his free time doing. Also because you want to start with the best thing, because when people get to talk about the things they really do love, it's the best time ever. Such passion, such emotion, and pure, unfiltered pride in their voice. What could be better? The answer is nothing. Nothing could be better.
Well, in that case,
I don't know. There was a joke there and it left. It's just gone off into the ether as so many other thoughts that I've had in my life. You wait in eager anticipation, breath caught in your throat as you prepare yourself to hear his answer.
I'll take you there and give you, and show you.
Oh. Oh no, it might be sexy. Uh-oh. Oh, a change of scenery. Already you're learning so much more about the you mean Rufio, than you thought you would. That he likes to spend his free time away from the trolls of the camp. You quickly rush to explain the puzzled look you've gotten from the winged troll.
It's not that I don't like hanging out with the guys. It's just not my favorite thing to do.
Thanks for the hydro fan.
Don't take it out of context.
Right, you're sorry for sounding like you're presuming that. It wasn't your intention at all. You didn't mean to. That had ended up being a misstep on your part. You're sure he's really happy to spend time with the trolls he's somehow managed to gather around himself, even if he feels like he can't wholly be himself around them. You're just all too aware of how much easier it can be to not play into roles and parts for others at times and just take time for yourself how you want to be. Though not from your own personal experiences, of course. You've never felt the crushing heaviness of needing to play into what others want of you. You're totally always yourself, happy in your own skin and confident in your ability to exist without needing to hide and or change large parts of your persona.
Are you okay?
Yep, A-okay, that's you.
If you're sure, did you still want to go see it, or do you need a minute?
Nope, you're ready and raring to go and see where he likes to spend his time. Please, before you dig yourself an even greater hole in your efforts to ignore the existential crisis that is your entire consciousness and existence. Thank you.
Let's go then.
And then you're being led away from the camp, past the scattered collections of trolls from so many different origins and experiences, and with a number of varying blood colors on the lowest end of the hema spectrum. You haven't really seen a group of trolls this diverse in one place before, at least not like that. Future Alternia had all the modern comforts of urban living, including widely differing blood castes existing within only a few square feet of each other without much murder and death amongst the gathered populace. But it was a lot different than the circumstances existing within the rebellion camp. As you watch Rufio greet each call of his title with a grin and individually catered response, you get the feeling that there's a community here, something Future Alternia was missing in. It's survival of the fittest mindset. You see trolls interacting with trolls that seem so different from each other in their bearings and appearance, clearer, more formal tones mixing with conversation with harsher, quicker vocalizations in a way that doesn't make you worry that fists and claws were about to be thrown as you and Rufio pass them. You find yourself passing trolls showing clear signs of irreparable harm having been done to them, sitting and discussing things with trolls appearing physically unmarred, like they both have every right to be there doing that, and you find yourself a little bit eased by the sight. Though you think he'd disagree with the actions the trolls of this rebellion are taking, you feel something in your chest ease a little at this idea that some small piece of the Silence's beliefs got to live past his execution. That not everything he'd struggled to impart to Alternian society had been discarded and torn apart by those that wished to keep the status quo of the cruel, unfair society the Silence's message had threatened to shake up. It's reassuring, however hollow, that small bits of your friends continue past them, beyond the memories you hold of their real selves in your heart. Rufio leads you out of the camp and away from the camp, and trolls within it past a forest of dense trees that's not even worth looking at all. It's not gonna bother showing it. It's not worth talking about. And definitely not worth the effort to put into visual form, to a wide open piece of land just at the top of a cliff.
Here we go. One of the best places I've found since we set up camp.
The best thing he'd found around the area is a cliff face? Yeah, you think you can see how the wide open expanse of the sky and the sheer drop of certain depth that was the cliff itself would be great for someone with wings, not to mention the freedom to finally put them to use and give them the proper exercise and care they deserved. It must have been so nice for Rufio to finally have a place where he could freely frolic amongst the clouds and stars without having to worry about anyone else seeing him and sentencing him to death or worse, just for trying to stretch out his muscles.
Yeah, that's something else great about it, now that I think about it.
Oh.
I don't really think about anything like that when I'm flying. I'm usually too busy
trying not to fall out of the sky like a baby bird leaving the nest before it's supposed to?
Yeah, that. There's another reason I like to come out here, though. She should be here in another minute or two.
She? You weren't being brought along for a date, were you? Because you're entirely unprepared to make an impression for something like that. Just look at what you're wearing. This is the absolute worst thing to wear when you want someone's quadrant mate to not think you're a low-life individual and...
Dude, calm down a bit.
You calm down the proverbial bit I requested of you. That's a good joke. I really like that.
I didn't bring you here to meet one of my quad mates. You said you wanted to see what I enjoyed, remember?
You do remember that? Yes. Uh-oh. It's gonna be sexy. Uh-oh. You do remember that, yes. But now you're more than a little concerned because... Does that mean that Rufio doesn't like being around his quadrant mates?
Well...
Rufio's saved from having to cobble together an answer by a heavy beating on the air. You feel yourself freeze up as it only seems to draw closer, the ground getting louder and louder in your ears as something that sounds large and dangerous approaches the cliff you and Rufio were standing on. You look to the winged troll for guidance about what's going on and what you're supposed to do, only to find him looking unconcerned and, dare you say it, even excited about the beating sounds drawing closer, and there's a gust of wind as a stark white form peeks from below your field of vision, rising with a graceful strength into the air above you both. And then... loud pterodactyl roar. Hang on, let's see if I can do this. Hold, please. How was that? Did that do anything for you?
Here she is.
That is a dragon, my good sir. just MSPA just standing there like, that's a dragon. That is in fact a dragon that I am witnessing currently.
I know. She's the best girl. Oh, who's a good girl?
Oh shit, you're making me decide? Of course she's a good girl, but that probably is gonna lead to a good ending and I don't want that right now. Is there a second option you could go with? Oh, of course she's a good girl, but we need to fuck up the timeline first before we fix it.
It's just, that's a very large, very dangerous looking loose that looks like she could consume you without even thinking about it. Just snap you open her jaws like a toothpick and that's more than a little terrifying. Oh, I see.
Oh, wait, hang on, that was an option. That was a choice. We'll go with 58-25, because why not?
That's alright. Everyone has different tastes after all.
Oh, who are you kidding? That's a dragon friend. That's so cool.
What?
You could barely play that for a second. Just look at her. You bet she's set so many things on fire.
Well, she says burning things makes them hard to eat. She's still help out. She'll still help out and cause a distraction when we have to pack up and leave in a hurry, though.
What a great helper. Look at this. Look at this little face. You get the feeling that not only is the dragon so much smarter than you, but also she's enduring yours and Rufio's enthusiasm with the bemusement of a parent listening to a child gush over the new hot thing of the week. Even though you know that her charge met an awful end not too long before Rufio fled the Highbloods, or years before, your grasp of where things fall in the timeline is tentative at best and non-existent at worst. It's a part of the history of Alternia that's unfortunately set in cold, unyielding stone, in the pages of Mindfang's journal. That's an awful thing to have to go through something you're certain is more commonplace in Alternia, just another fact of this planet's messed up society.
So, do you want to meet her officially?
Yes, you want that. You want to come and meet this magnificent creature that's at once so tied into and so separated from the story of the summoner and learn about how she's further shaped his life and experience now that he was free of the control he'd experienced before?
Well, I don't know about all that, but I'm sure Pyrospy will like you. She's a much better judge of character than I am.
Pterodactyl equivalent? You're so ready to be judged by a giant fire-breathing winged reptile. Ah, dude, come see my dragon! It's not a euphemism. It's not a euphemism for anything. Alright, there's a couple of choices in there that, I don't know if they actually lead to anything else. Oh, we're an hour into this, bitch. But let's see. Alright, okay, we gotta blaze through a few things here. Okay. Go through all this, pull your stuff together, talk to the Winged Bugman. We go through everything, yeah, that makes sense. Go through all that. Not really. Go through all that. Pot, is it the same? It's gotta be pots. Pots are so much superior to kettles in literally every single sense of the word. No matter, okay, hang on, this was the pot choice. It's got to be pot. Pots are so superior to kettles in literally every single sense of the word, no matter how you look at it. That round, robust shape, that large girth of interior space. Entire epics and countless books could be written detailing the insurmountable points in pots' favor against the awful things that are kettles. You mean, come on, what more do you need than pots are made for... what more do you need than pots are made for food and kettles are for the disgusting beverage that is tea? That's all the points you really need at the end of the day, in your humble opinion. The semantics, if you're wondering, yada yada yada. That's all the same. Okay, no, that all leads to the same. Okay, never mind. The summoner is done. That was good. That was fun. I really like that. Also, fucking Pyrospite at the end, worth it. And we did it in the correct order. We did it in the right order. Pog. Fucking hell. All right. So hang on. There's one thing I need to do in preparation for Mindfangs. Hold, please. In fact, do I have this set? I don't think I have this set, actually. I don't have this set. I'm coming back. Hello. Hello, friends. So. Because it's pirate time! Because it's pirate time! Because it's time for pirates! Is why! I'm fucking ready! Alright. Volume 8, the Marquise risks and sails. Content warning, slavery, violence, implied sexual assault, and death. You've been warned. Yes. Hang on. That'll be cool. You can see it in all its glory now. I wonder if there's a better way I can hold... It's not quite sitting on my head because my headphones are... Oh, that's a bit better. Ah! All right, let's get to it, shall we? I'm fucking ready! You're tired. No, I'm not. I'm gonna meet a fucking pirate. These stories are so heavy. Oh, hang on. When am I starting this one? It's like 102. You miss the kinds of wacky shenanigans from your first trip to Alternia. You ask Aradia if you can take a little vacation, somewhere fun, maybe a little goofy and over the top. Aradia tilts her head, thinking a bit. You suppose she never expected you to ask for a filler episode.
I can't say this one will be a vacation, but if you're looking for familiar shenanigans, I know just the place.
Aradia opens a new tear, gesturing for you to step through. This space-time rip must have been a little off target from what she expected, because you find yourself plummeting 20 feet towards a stack of unlabeled crates. As you fall, you hear Aradia call faintly through the closing tear. Sorry, it's hard to gauge distance when the waves are like this. Waves? Your head smacks against the corner of a crate, and you black out. You wake up to a dull poking sensation in your gut. A short olive blood with chin-length curly hair is jabbing you with the back end of a mop.
Olive. It's me, Olive. It's so squishy. What do you think it is?
A tough-looking rustblood with a ponytail. Hello? Stands next to the olive blood, eyeing you suspiciously.
Maybe some sea loose just washed up while we were asleep. The waves were pretty wild yesterday. Want to fillet it and toss it on the dinner pile?
Oh, hell no! That jolts you the hell awake. You scramble up the pile of crates as fast as your godlike legs can muster and tell the strangers to put their sticks down. You're not elusive, see? See? You do a feeble little jazz hands motion. To prove your personhood, you guess? This seems to convince the olive blood. She looks at the rustblood pleadingly.
Oh, they're like a little guy. We can't kill them.
Fine, the captain's not gonna like having a little guy hiding up behind the spoils, though. We gotta bring it to her during lineup. Let her deal with it.
Fine.
The olive blood huffs and crosses her arms. You hear the foghorn blare out. Do you appreciate my sound effects? Do you appreciate the humility I put myself through for your entertainment? The two trolls in front of you stiffen. The olive blood reaches for your arm and ushers you off the pile of crates.
Come on, don't be scared. I'm sure the captain won't do anything too horrible to you.
You warily take her hand and follow her. For the first time, you take a good look around and take in your surroundings. You're on a ship of some sorts. Huh. Funny, you were just on a ship, weren't you? But this one feels different from Dual Scar's extravagant ship. Familiar in a different way. Uncomfortably familiar, you might add. Even the ship's ornamentations feel familiar. Everything from the blue accented trim to the spidery ropes, the flag emblazoned with a cerulean... Oh shit, you know exactly where you are. Thanks, guys. I'm glad you appreciate them. This is Vriska's ancestor. There's no way this isn't Vriska's ancestor. You know Vriska. You can tell this lineup thing is going to be a bad time. You watch as a dozen or so trolls line up behind a door labeled Captain's Quarters. The olive blood takes you to the back of the line, right next to the rustblood. You take a breath and ready yourself for the captain's arrival. Oh, here she comes. This can't be too bad, right? You managed to befriend Vriska just fine. How much worse can an older, more accomplished Vriska be?
All right. All right, so if Vriska's kind of like this, we need someone to be much more forceful than Vriska. All right, sea bitches. What's the report tonight?
There she is. There she is, the Pirate Queen! The door bursts open and out struts a troll with an enormous feathered hat and the loudest, brashest voice you have ever heard. She walks down the line, demanding reports from each of the ship's crew. You think you see her slap one of the trolls on the ass, cackling. You can definitely see where Vriska's personality comes from. Her design is so good. Right before you enter her field of vision, she stops it in her tracks.
Wait a second. Where the fuck is Willem?
They died last night, remember? They've been fighting troll scurvy all Peregrine.
Seriously, why do I keep telling you? What do I keep telling you all? 2 sour fruits a day. You're no use to me if you're dead. Whatever. I guess we got an opening on the cleaning crew now. Back to business. What about you? Anything to report?
She addresses the olive blood, but somehow still hasn't noticed you.
I think I might have found a stowaway.
Vriska's ancestor, Captain Mindfang. You think her name is? Freezes and looks right at you. You sheepishly wave. Hi. Mostly intimidation and slightly seduced.
You think you found a stowaway? Of course you found a fucking stowaway. I didn't let this thing on my ship. Where did you find it? Behind the crates on the port side, ma'am. Oh, so not only do we have a stowaway, but specifically a stowaway that's trying to steal our fucking provisions. What are you waiting for? Throw it overboard.
Wait, you yell. You weren't trying to steal. You beg Mindfang not throw you into the terrifying depths of the Alternia Ocean.
Why shouldn't I? What use are you to me?
You can be useful. You can snatch the mop that the olive blood is still, or you snatch the mop that the olive blood is still carrying. You can clean. She said she had an opening on the cleaning crew, right? Mindfang eyes you up and down. Her gaze softens a little. Fine. But if you don't mop like your life depends on it, it's the plank. Got it? Got it. Aye, Captain. Mindfang flashes you a sharp grin. Welcome aboard, Swabby. I'm going to change the course of your life forever. The last bit gives you pause, but you nod and brush it off. All right, bitches, back to work. You've got an Imperial cargo ship 20 miles off the coast of New Mamesport, and I need you all to ready to fight! The line disperses, and you find a dusty corner to swab. You've decided what you need to do here. Look. She's everything, all right? She's powerful, she's strong, she's a pirate, she's everything. She's the perfect woman, okay? You need to take make Mindfang into a better person. Do we, though? Do we? I think she's fine just the way she is. Obviously, there's no changing fate. You've jumped ahead to too many tragic futures to think you can change anything significant. But maybe this is small enough to make a subtle difference. This ruthless pirate captain is Vriska's biggest role model. Her entire personality is modeled after Mindfang. You remember reading that journal in Vriska's hive and being absolutely horrified. You want more than anything to leave this place and let that awful journal fill in this gap in the story, but you need to at least try to make a positive difference right now. For Vriska. You just have to figure out how to get close enough to Mindfang. You work on mopping your corner for a while, contemplating your task ahead, when you hear a bit of a commotion. You peek your head around the corner to see what's going on. One of the other crew members runs up to Mindfang, yelling something about a problem up ahead. Give me that spyglass. Oh shit, we've got teals. Alright, bitches, all hands on deck. We've got a battle on our hands, and this isn't your everyday stab and steal. That boat is crawling with teal bloods, and we all know what happens if a legislacerator gets a hold of our coordinates. We leave no troll alive today. This is it. This might be your chance to get on Mindfang's good side. If you prove to her that you're useful in battle, maybe she'll be comfortable enough to, with you to have one of your famous heart-to-heart friendship chats. Then again, the last time you fought alongside a pirate, you passed out, and that was just a pretend pirate battle. You don't know when you're going to have another chance to prove yourself, though. What should you do? Uh-oh. Oh no, stand up and fight. Sit this one out. Okay. Inaction usually means the bad ending, so we're gonna sit this one out. And what's the timestamp on this one? What is it? 1:11:50. Let's sit this one out, see how it goes. I don't know if this is going to work or not. I'm too excited. Look, I'm shaking. You can't risk it. Vriska may have carried you to safety last time, but you doubt Mindfang would do that. You doubt she'd even have to have a hive to safely carry you too. You stand back while crew members swarm the deck. The rust blood from earlier approaches you, carrying a massive chest.
Hey, new kid, don't just stand there. Let me pass out these weapons.
That you can do. Aye, sir. You very carefully hand out pistols and giant swords to any empty-handed crew member, making absolutely certain to not pass out with anything, or not to pass out anything dangerous in your grasp. Pass out with anything dangerous in your grasp. Got it. Got there eventually. You seem to be doing pretty well. That is until the cannons start blasting. The first boom knocks you straight off your feet. When you get up, you can see smoke billowing up from a ship on the horizon. You hear another boom, this one much fainter. You wonder for a second if you're losing your hearing, but then you see a cannonball crashing right towards your location. The other ship is fighting back. That's what they do. That's how this goes, buddy. Luckily, the cannonball just misses the ship, causing a fountain of seawater to knock you right back onto your back. That was still way too close for you. Helping time is over. It's hiding time now. It's hiding time now. You scoot your way over to the crates you were dropped off by to cower. You aren't entirely sure how the battle goes, but you can hear several more cannons firing, a whole lot of yelling from Mindfang, and the unmistakable sound of metal on metal. You think a handful of the enemy tried to climb on the ship? You can't be totally sure. You hear 3 large splashes and a whole bunch of cheering. You take this as your cue to slip back into the rest of the crew unnoticed. This might have been the right choice, and I'm upset about this option. I'm upset about what I've done here. You join in the cheering. It's almost as if you were never a sniveling coward scared of a few loud noises. Mindfang stands on a crate and raises her hands in the air, palms out. The crew immediately shuts up. Thank you all once again for proving to the world that Captain Mindfang and her band of badass bitches are the ones who always win. Shut up for a second, though. There's still work to be done. Swabbies, I need this deck in ship shape in an hour. We're having a bonfire tonight, and I want to see a spot of blood when I come back out. Got it? Both you and the All-Blood give Mindfang a firm nod. Great, I'll be back in an hour. Don't bother me unless it's another emergency. The crew cheers again as Mindfang steps off the crate and saunters off to her quarters. The rest of the crew disperses while you and the All-Blood get started cleaning up the aftermath of the battle. Your morbid curiosity gets the better of you, and while cleaning, you take a peek over the side of the ship that the blood trail you're currently mopping leads to. The bodies must have sunk, but you see a distinctive teal smear running down the side of the ship from one of the victims. You assume you don't have to clean that up. You and the Olive Blood work silently, mopping up viscera and returning showy weapons to their proper places. It's hard work, but before long, everything looks good as new, and just in time, too. A large bronze blood carries a huge metal fire pit over the center of the ship and starts setting up the fire. Before long, the rest of the crew comes out, too, and sits on the floor around it. A troll, who you assume must be the cook, comes out with a massive plate of mystery meat and starts passing out plates to crew members. You hadn't really noticed it before, but despite Mindfang's brash treatment of her crew, these trolls really do seem like they're enjoying each other's company. It's a found family of sorts. Almost like the sign that says Clade, if you really squint. Or if you really squint. Once everyone is situated, you hear the door to the captain's quarters slam open once more. Mindfang saunters out, triggering another bout of cheering from the crew. She's carrying a very familiar-looking leather-bound book, emblazoned with the symbol she shares with Vriska. All right, bitches, it's story time. What tale shall your fearless captain regale you with tonight? She sits at the single chair placed at the fire pit and thumbs through her journal. Today we fought against a cohort of undercover Tealbloods, but that was nothing compared to the attack of 7 mariners in EC. Oh boy, that's a big number. 12-4-13. It was a 6th bilunar perigee of the first dark season's equinox, sweep 12-4-13 era condescension. I had been sailing the open seas for a handful of sweeps, long enough to emblazon fear in the hearts of every mariner whose path I crossed. My crew was small, but we were the most powerful pirates on the west side of the Alternian Great Sea. The crew is listening intently, leaning in closer as they eat their mystery meat. You take a nibble and try not to gag too hard, focusing on the story rather than the spongy sensation of the food. Now, it's no secret that I have never been allies with the Violet Blood Mariners in that area of the ocean. But despite my impeccable luck, I never could have predicted what lengths they would go to try and take me down. This was well before I gained my ability to know the future, mind you. Your ears perk up at the word future. You didn't know Mindfang had time powers. You need to know more about this. I never would have guessed that 7 Violet Bloods, some of the most self-absorbed pricks on the ocean, would band together to try to destroy my ship. I mean, you've all met Empora. You know how violets can be. The crew snickers, as if on cue. And these 7 had enormous weapons, guns you wouldn't believe the size of. But despite all that, they were no match for me. Mindfang recalls a daring tale of 7 against 1, gun against sword, wrong against... well, honestly, also wrong. Everyone in this story sounds like a complete douchebag, but damn if it isn't absolutely captivating. By the end of the story, she's standing on her chair, practically acting out the battle. We thought there was no hope left. With a gun practically pressed to my pusher, I threw the dice one final time. She throws us a D8 for effect, the same D8 you remember Vriska using to flarp. All 8s, an oversized sword. All 8s. Fuck, I'm so excited. I just want to read Mindfang. That's all I want to do. All 8s, an oversized sword appears in Mindfang's hand. What do I always say? Nobody can dare beat me when I have all the luck. The crew starts cheering and hollering once more. Despite your qualms about Mindfang, you gotta admit she puts on a great show. The crew begins to chant one more in unison. Another story. Damn, you guys are greedy tonight. All right, one more. Any requests? All sorts of shouts come from Mindfang's little audience, but the loudest one comes from the Olive Blood. She stands on the shoulders of a Bronze Blood compatriot, shouting, "Tell us about the future! Tell us about the future!" The rest of the crew must have heard her, because before you know it, they're all chanting, "Future! Future!" and pumping their fists in the air. Mindfang immediately drops her showy, friendly demeanor. Hey, what have I told you about the future stuff? That's for me to know and you to never find out. I've changed my mind. No second story for you anymore. Now back to your quarters before the sun comes up and burns your scrawny asses. The crew disperses, dejected. They were having such a good time that they must have momentarily forgotten that their captain is a huge bitch. As everyone else leaves the deck, you decide now is probably the best time to catch Mindfang alone. You think you know how to make her trust you. You saunter up, sheepishly, and give her a little wave. Well, if it isn't the weird squishy thing I hired for some reason, I'm impressed with how you handled that battle. I was sure if someone was gonna die today, it was gonna be you. You thank her. You didn't exactly do anything other than hide during the battle, but you'll keep that part to yourself. Let me guess. You need to know, you need me to show you your bunk assignment, right? Go ask Elena for that. It's not my business. Well, no, actually, you want to tell her something about yourself. Listen, kid, whoever you were before you stumbled your way onto the ship is dead now. Whatever yourself was before doesn't matter. You're my swabby now, and you're going to be happier here than you ever were on the mainland. No, this is kind of important. It has to do with the future stuff she was talking about. What the fuck did I say? The future's from me and only me to know. But you've seen the future too. Mindfang freezes. Were you looking at my fucking journal? No, of course not. Fuck, no, don't kill me, please. You just happen to have powers of space and time that can appear at any moment in history. You zap around the ship as a demonstration, appearing on top of the captain's quarters and up at the crow's nest in the blink of an eye. Mindfang still looks at you with distrust. So you can go anywhere at any time, and you just decided to show up on my boat. I bet you were trying to steal from me. You don't want to steal her shit? You don't even know what kinds of shit she keeps on here. You explained to her that you didn't choose to be here. You were sent here to learn about an important story that your friend cares a lot about. Mindfang perks up at the word story. Your friend from the future thinks I'm important. Yup, and you think you know why. Tell me more about this story. Why don't we take it to my quarters? Or wait, actually, why don't I give you a tour of the ship, since you're new here? Not many crew members get the privilege of a private tour. Let's just relax. Let's just hang out. Let's just vibe. And, we can just, shoot the shit, talk about the future, and you possibly fuck up this timeline here.
What's this one here? 120.
35. Let's just hang out. Let's just relax, huh? You want to get down to business. As much as a private tour sounds great, you don't want the distraction right now. You tell Mindfang you'd love to see her quarters. No tour? Oh well, your loss. Mindfang leads you to the ornate double doors on the front cabin of the ship. She opens the door with an overdramatic flourish. Welcome to my humble abode.
That's very...
You wouldn't exactly quantify it as humble. Not that it looks ridiculously expensive, aside from a few clearly stolen artifacts, but every ounce of this room is absolutely covered in spiderwebs. The carpet, the recuperator, and even the curtains are embroidered with tiny cerulean spiderwebs, as if to make sure that if anyone stumbled into her room, they would know for certain it's hers. The only part not monogrammed with a web is a small wooden desk covered in ornate pens and piles of fancy papers, completely strewn about. Huh. Mindfang is a stationary nerd? Don't judge, I take my journal very seriously.
Oh, there's the RNA coming through.
It's the best way to make sure my legacy is preserved. Speaking about my legacy, weren't you going to tell me about this story that I'm clearly a part of? Right. You explained the recent adventures Aradia had been taking you through. So basically, this is a story of how Alternia became how it is in your time? That's what you think? Or maybe Aradia doesn't know shit and just wants to show you your friend's distant relatives. Of course he knows shit. I'm the best and most fearsome pirate on the open seas. Guess I didn't need this stupid journal after all. Actually, about the journal. You tell her about Vriska and how she's used Mindfang's journal to essentially curate her whole personality in the most destructive way possible. You say this like it's a bad thing. You're telling me that I have a descendant who built a replica of my ship and kills other trolls using my name as a pseudonym, and that's supposed to be a bad thing? This is the greatest thing I've ever heard! Mindfang cackles gleefully while you shake your head. You gotta find the most delicate way of saying this because you know this good mood of hers could flip in an instant. So you're a squishy alien who's fallen from the stars to observe my slice of the timeline and tell me about my descendant. You're the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. I love it. Let's just say any threats I made earlier are moot. Well, you're not just here to deliver information about the future. Oh? Whenever you meet someone new, usually you have a strong compulsion to befriend them, but... You just want to be friends? Sure, I can call you a... But today, you've come with a mission. You want to help her become a better role model for Vriska. Wow, this sounds... Why the fuck would you go this route, buddy? A better... What do you mean? You mean like maybe she could be a little nicer, you know? A little... Listen, kid. Mindfang becomes deadly serious, her cackle disappearing as quickly as it appeared. I know you're new to Alternia and all that, so I'll give you a bit of advice. Alternia doesn't do nice. But all of your friends... Let me rephrase that for you. Alternia doesn't remember nice. Any semblance of nice gets erased here. And you just told me I'm remembered centuries in the future, not only by my descendants, but by everyone she has ever interacted with, including some rando time fairy who deems me a crucially important part of Alternian history. I ain't changing shit. You sit down on the floor and sigh. Of course, Mindfang wasn't gonna bend to your will like that. It's not like you've ever been able to get Vriska to do anything she didn't want to do. Why would her ancestors be any different? To your surprise, Mindfang sits down on the floor next to you. That is remarkably surprising, actually. I wasn't kidding when I said that I was, when I said that was one of the best things anyone's ever told me. Do you know why I became a pirate? Is that something they tell people in the future? You don't think so? Honestly, you're not sure if her story is even told in the way she thinks you meant. You just straight up read parts of her journal in Vriska's house. Do you know what ceruleans are meant to do, according to her imperial bitchiness? Not that you know of? We're supposed to become high-ranking officers or court officials, showered with riches and fancy hives for our loyalty. It's our birthright, but in doing so, we can never say a single thing out of line. That loyalty? That just means suppressing our powers and never speaking our minds. You didn't see my powers in action today, but they're strong. Some of the best psionics out there, comparable to HIC herself. Which means I'm a culpable offense if I ever want to be my own person. I'd never be remembered if I stayed a loyal hybrid, so I tossed away my birthright. Now I basically own the oceans, there's nothing the Empire can do about it. So she's a pirate because she wants to leave behind a fearful legacy. Basically. But her crew is all lowbloods. There's nothing altruistic going on the ship? Ha! You think I give a fuck about blood color? I'll take anyone as long as they're willing to be useful. I'd have more highbloods on my crew if they weren't so scared of losing their wealth. Little do they know I've got more riches than all the mid-level Imperial captains combined. There's gotta be someone she cares about enough to try to be kinder for them, though, right? Mindfang pauses for a second. Well, I found this a little hard to believe at first, but there is someone I'm gonna meet in the future who I do go all soft for. He's a badass, so I doubt it'll tarnish my reputation. Mindfang's calculating gaze starts to soften. You see some genuine love behind her eyes for the first time. You think you know where this is going. You ask Mindfang if she could tell you about this guy. Maybe show you some journal passages or something? You can teleport anywhere, right? Yep, as long as she thinks it's the place you can take her there. Let me show him to you. You nod and take her hand. Take my hand. Zip! Hey, Mercy. Hey, Vord. Y'all missed my awesome pterodactyl screech earlier. If I does says so myself. You appear in an incredibly musty basement, stacked to the ceiling with boxes. Mindfang starts rummaging through some of them. Most of the boxes appear to contain figurines of horses and broken pieces of stone carvings. You hear a familiar, pathetic wailing coming from the house above you. You know exactly where you are. Here it is. Mindfang procures an ornate black box, which she opens to reveal a smooth white orb. Oh, it's Thothy! Oh, I forgot about Thothy. Fuck. Thothy. Oh god, you've met the sad sack, haven't you? I keep telling him to stop carrying around my cue ball and whispering creepy shit to it. I guess we're like, oh, this is dark. I didn't even see that. I'm fucking blind and stupid. I didn't see this here. This is Darklear's shit. I guess we're lucky that he put it back in its proper place today instead of leaving it tucked against his enormous sweaty breasts. Anyway, I'm going to show you the future. Most of my crewmates would kill to see what I know, so you better consider yourself lucky. Wow, yeah, it blocks it. Wow, it fucking blocks that. Oh, you definitely do. Even if your primary mission isn't working out as you planned, you're still getting some pretty sweet friendship bonding out of this. God, just look at her. God, just look at her. Mindfang lifts up her eye patch to reveal 7 pupils in a circle. She holds the orb at arm's length, squinting her normal eye and concentrating. Show me the future, lover. She squints harder and harder until she breaks into the whitest and most genuine smile you've seen on her. We're standing on a podium in the middle of a crowd in the tent city. He's rallying the crowd, leading a chant that can be heard from miles. I'm right behind him, waving his rebel flag high and chanting with the crowd. I never thought I'd be able to trust anyone enough to stand behind them, but I guess he's the one. Before daybreak, we sit around a big campfire together and tell each other stories of our past. You know, that's actually where I got my idea to do a victory campfires on the ship. On stage, he's got this incredible presence, enough to make you want to listen to him forever. But when he's alone, when we're alone, he's the most adorable dork. And his wings, he has these enormous wings that practically glitter in the moonlight. The most intimidating thing I've seen on a troll. Anyone can bare their fangs and sharpen their claws, but it takes real power to stare in the face of the Empire and say, fuck you, I can fucking fly. Mindfang sighs longingly and puts down the cue ball, lowering her eye patch. Sigh. You're grinning at her like an idiot. Nothing makes you happier than knowing this absolute bitch has enough of a heart to form not only true love, but what looks like true friendship, too. What are you staring at? Nothing, you're just happy to see her so happy. You do wonder, though, why is she so protective of the future? Is she embarrassed to let her crewmates see her all flustered? What? No! Well, kinda. That's not the main reason, though. I've seen everything that's gonna happen to me. That's why I know everything is gonna turn out fine. For me, at least. My crew isn't so lucky. One day I'll meet my match, and even though I'll come out with barely a scrape, they're all gonna burn on my behalf. So she knows when everyone on her ship is going to die. Shouldn't she warn them? The cue ball won't tell me when, only that it's gonna happen eventually. I don't want to freak my crew out by dangling a knife over their heads for sweeps or even decades. And no amount of warning them is gonna save them. The troll who burns my ship has a freaking dragon. So no, I'm not going to burden my crew with this. Huh. So she really does care about her crew. What the fuck is that supposed to mean? Of course I care about them! I feed them, shelter them, give them the opportunity to be badass bitches, and steal shit from the Empire. What more do you want? But she also yells at them and bosses them around. The 2 crew members who found you earlier seemed absolutely terrified during the lineup. I need to be ruthless. I've got a reputation to uphold. I'm giving them a better life on the ship than they'd ever have back on land. Is it really a better life if they're just moving from blind obedience to the Empire to blind obedience to her? Mindfang, for once, is silent. Her future lover is a revolutionary leader, right? Yeah, but he's still ruthless. I've watched us take down entire brigades of cavalry reapers. He's ruthless to his enemy. Does he do the same to the trolls in his tent village? No. When you told her she should be nicer back on the ship, you weren't telling her to stop being a pirate. You just wish she would treat her crew a little more like the found family they are to each other. Whatever hypothetical history book she wants to be in isn't going to erase her for being kind to her crew. It's not like I don't like them. They all work really hard. I've never seen anyone swab a deck as thoroughly as Elena, and nobody can wield a sword like Brion. And nothing makes me laugh more than the way Garen jumps in the air when I slap him on the ass. Then tell them that, except for the ass slapping part. She's really got to stop doing that. You really need to stop, actually, please. But aside from that, she should let her crew know how much she appreciates them, and not only when they do something right. Trolls aren't only worth something when they're useful. If she can't do it for her crew's sake alone, then she should do it for the sake of her future lover. What would he think if he found out she treats her loyal crew like crap? I guess you're right. I can try to be a little nicer to the crew. For the sexy winged boy. For the sexy winged boy. Fuck! Damn it! We got the good one! I mean, yay! But damn it! Now we gotta fuck it up! Piss! Alright, what's the time stamp on that one? 1:31. We'll just do 1:31. For the sexy winged boy. Damn it. Damn diggity damn it. Alright, let's zip on past all of this. Stand up and fight. Let's get fucking murked. What's the time step on this one? 1:32. Oh, thanks for the hydrate, Tixie. Oh, it's cold. It's even worse now. Stand up and fight. This will be different from your fight on Vriska's ship. You just know it. You only passed out then because Scratch was fucking with your mind. You haven't sensed that creepy old cue ball at all since starting a Radia story. You'll be fine. Even when you screwed up with Dual Scar, it wasn't that bad. It can't happen to you twice. You run up to Mindfang and salute her, asking what you can do to help. Mindfang laughs in your face. The newly little white thing wants to fight? Listen, kid, you're better off if you stay the fuck away from this fight. You're just gonna get in the way. No! You can do this! You've fought on a ship before. You conveniently leave out what actually happened on Vriska's ship. You flex at Mindfang and do a bunch of tough-looking poses. Mindfang looks on in disgust. Alright, whatever. Go main the third portside cannon. You jump in the air with glee and rush off to the third cannon on the left side of the boat, which is currently being loaded by a huge bronze blood. You have no idea what you're supposed to be doing with this thing. The bronze blood can see your confusion and tells you to lift the front of the cannon to aim at the ship on the horizon. Whew, this thing is heavy. You lift with your legs, your back, even try to headbutt it a little, but it just won't budge. This cannon is not going to get properly aimed. The bronze blood asks if you're ready, saying Mindfang's going to call the fire soon. You lie. You can't let anyone on this crew know how utterly incompetent you are. Fire! The bronze blood lights the fuse, and you're blown halfway across the ship with the sheer force of the explosion. From your position flying through the air, you can see just how poorly you aimed that cannon. You can also see that the other ship noticed the attack and is sending cannonballs your way now. We missed? How the fuck did we miss? Fire again! When Mindfang finds out this is your fault, she won't let you stick around. You take this as your cue to hide. From the one safe corner you find of the ship, you hear utter chaos. Dozens of cannonballs are fired from both sides. You hear the crunch of wood as one of the masts is shot off. The yelling increases as the enemy boards the ship. You squeeze your eyes tight and try to shut out the noise. The battle seems to go on for hours. Until suddenly, silence. You take a breath, ready to sneak out and join the rest of the crew, but when you open your eyes, Mindfang is towering over you. I thought I told you to main the fucking cannons! You open your mouth to speak, but she grabs you by the front of your hoodie. I told you to main the cannons, you fucking missed, and look what fucking happened! She lifts you up and shoves you in the direction of the destruction. My ship is in shambles, some of my crew is dead, and the worst part is, I know for certain that this wasn't supposed to fucking happen! You're useless to me, you know what? You're worse than useless. Elena, get the rope. The trespasser's gonna walk the plank. The Olive Blood approaches you with a length of rope. You give her a pleading look. Mindfang might be a lost cause, but maybe the troll who found you passed out is someone you can call a friend, someone to help buy you some extra time to zap away. Any previous kindness in the crew member's eyes has been replaced with anger. Her hands are stained with rust-colored blood. You fucked up bad. Deja vu. The face. Just a... Oh, man. Alrighty. Let's get the last bad ending of this bitch, huh? Alright, so we do this. We zap on by. We sit this one out. We zap on by. And then we do the private tour. That's the one I didn't do, right? Private tour. 35 and 30. Got it. You say a private tour would be wonderful. Right this way, then. Ooh. Mindfang's showy demeanor is back as she ushers you under the deck of the ship. Honestly, if it weren't for the extreme egotism and weird cultist mentality around her, she just seems like a very over-the-top theater kid type. So what was the story you were talking about? Oh, right. Well, your friend from the future thought it would be good for you to see the story of all your other future friends as ancestors, who coincidentally are all important historical figures for some reason. 4 of them spearheaded the most inspiring revolutionary movement in Alternian history. Yeah, revolution, cool, whatever. On your left, we have the trophy room. This is where I keep the most valuable loot. Swords from powerful captains, teeth from the biggest sea lucide, jewels, pillars from ships en route to her imperial condescension herself. You peer through a glass case in the center of the room, displaying an especially sparkly necklace. You reach out to touch the glass. Hey, looking only, we're moving on! Anyway, how do I fit into this story? Am I the most renowned pirate in the future Alternian history books? Well, she's known enough to be imitated by her descendant almost perfectly. Ha! My descendant imitates me, that's incredible! Yep, to a T. Same ship, same pirate coat, albeit much lower budget for both, and she even has an identical set of dice. Wow, I must make quite an impression. Oh, the mess hall is on your right, latrines are on the left, and weapon storage is at the end of the hall. Actually, you had some things you wanted to say about her descendant. Enough about tiny knockoff me. I want to hear about what people say about me in the far future. You don't... Oh, before I forget, let me show you the best part of the ship. Mindfang leads you down a wooden staircase to the deepest bowels of the ship. She pushes open a heavy door and ushers you into an oddly familiar, barely lit corridor lined with what looks like jail cells. Welcome to the slave quarters. The absolute joy she says those words with is sickening. But of course, Mindfang has slaves. Of fucking course she does. That's just one more thing you're gonna have to fix. Actually, now that you think about it, you read about some horrible things she did to her slaves in her journal. You try to push that aside to focus on the task at hand. You're here to make Mindfang into a more tolerable person, not to fixate on her glaring flaws. They're great, right? Had them furnished with state-of-the-art locks, so nobody has to worry about an escaped slave. A thought occurs to you. If Mindfang has slaves, why does she have a cleaning crew? They're not here to clean, idiot. Her laugh makes you uneasy. The slaves are here for other purposes. Purposes I can't use my crew for. Well, I guess I could, but only if I wanted a really nasty reputation. My image is more dignified than that. You should meet my favorite one. She's very pretty and a super rare hue, too. She used to be pretty feisty, but I think I've crushed her spirit well. Hey, Prisma. Oh, Rosa! Oh, no. No. It all hits you. You've been here before. You've seen this before. You know who the slave in that journal was. She's right at the end of the hallway. You hear the telltale sign of your own zapping into Rosa's cell. You can faintly hear your old conversation from the other side of the corridor. You can't change this, and you don't seem the type to be able to kill. Frankly, I wouldn't trust you to do it correctly. Rosa! Mindfang calls out a second time, and your stomach churns. You need to get out of here. You've seen what has happened to her. You can't bear to see it a second time. Irredeemable. There it is. Because as much as she's a badass bitch, she's still a fucking slaver. Alrighty then. Well, that about does it for Distantquest this week. We'll do the YouTube outro, and then we'll keep going with the stream. Thank you so much for watching, everybody on YouTube. If you liked it, make sure you click the like button down below and subscribe to keep up with my stuff. New videos every Monday and Wednesday at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. They are my stream VODs. There's a link down in the description to my Twitch channel, so you can see what's going on there. If you would like to, please consider giving me a follow over there, so you can see what I'm streaming, what the schedule is, and all that kind of stuff there. And yeah, comment. What was your favorite part about this? Did you like the Summoner more, or did you like Mindfangs more? The Summoners was a lot sweeter, and I think on a whole a much more kinder story. But come on, pirates! But yeah, leave a comment. Let me know. Anyway, please, everyone who's watching on YouTube, thank you so much for watching. Please stay safe, stay healthy. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope to see you next time. Later, everybody.